Hi friends. So today what we are going to see is his search for a tiger. Satyajit raised search for a tiger to shoot a scene where Goopy and Bhaga in the forest, they are in the forest and a tiger sees them, but the tiger doesn't bother much about them. The tiger walks away as if the tiger had not seen them. But the question here is, from where will you get a tiger? That's the problem. So they came to know the obvious place from where you can get obvious means very clear. It's very obvious that they can get a tiger from a circus company. So luckily Bharat Circus was conducting shows in Calcutta in a place called Marcus Square. All those things we will see later, but the time being, let's go through the words. Obvious, already I told you, means clear. Somebody is carrying stolen goods with him. It is obvious that he has stolen it. Now, two persons are talking in the class all the time. It is obvious that they are talking. Means it is very clear, that's the meaning. Then holding shows, conducting shows, circus, conducting circus shows, first show, second show, matinee and so on, morning show. So that is holding shows means conducting shows, running shows, circus. To make an appointment means to fix a time for meeting a person. If you have to meet the principal, you have to make an appointment. That means you have to fix a time for it. You cannot go anytime, just knock at the door and say, "Sir, I want to see you." No, it's not possible because he is a very busy person. You have to get, if you want to meet me, appointment is not required because I am not a very busy person. You can come to me anytime. That's the difference. To fix, to make an appointment. Send for one Mr. Thorat. Mr. Thorat is the ringmaster of that Bharat Circus. So send for means send a messenger to call him. Send for Mr. Thorat means send a messenger. Now suppose the principal wants to see one of you, then he will send for Mr. So-and-so. Means he will send a person and ask Mr. Ashok to go and meet the principal. That is sent for means. Understand? And then you have got the ringmaster. Ringmaster means turned out to be. Turned out to be is a good phrase. All these things are good phrases, good words and good phrases. Then turned out to be means he proved himself to be. If that is difficult meaning, then I will tell you. He became. You understand? He proved himself to be or he became. He was like that. You understand? He turned out. I trusted a friend, but he turned out to be a cheat. I trusted a person. I thought that he is my best friend. But what happened is that he was actually a cheat. That is, I saw a ball. It turned out to be a dirty one. I thought from a distance I thought that, or you can say I saw a snake. It turned out to be a piece of a rope. I saw a snake, but when I went near, a closer looks, it turned out to be a piece of rope. So that is, it appeared to me. So what it proved to be, you can say, it appeared to me. So the piece of the rope, it has appeared to me. It looked like a snake, but then it turned out to be a piece of rope. So that means actually it was a piece of rope, but I thought it is like this. This turned out to be, proved to be, or simple English, he became, or it became, it became, or it was actually something else. I thought it is a rock, but it was actually something else. What was it? It was a snake. Clear? Okay, then ringmaster. Ringmaster is master of the ring. That means is in charge of all the animals in the circus. The person who is Mr. Thorat is the ringmaster here. He is in charge of the animals in the circus. He is the ringmaster. Then scar means a mark. The forearm is the from elbow to wrist. This area is called the forearm. So there are marks, scars means wounds. When a wound when it is healed, you will find a mark there. That mark is called a scar. That means he might have fought with tigers, or the tigers must have attacked him. After some time, the wound was healed, and then still after healing of the wound, the mark will remain, and that is the scar. I think that's good. There are many scars on his body. That means he was attacked by the tiger, or he might have say the claws of the tiger, or the teeth of the tiger. This he might have been wounded, but now it's all healed. Then you find the scars there. So from when I explain the meaning itself, now you know who or what kind of a person is Mr. Thorat. Mr. Thorat is a South Indian, a Tamilian, and the Bharat Circus manager is also a South Indian, a Tamilian. So, as I told you, the problem Satyajit faced was he had to get a tiger. So, from where will you get a trained tiger? Easily you can get if you contact a circus people. But then, luckily, in Calcutta, in a place called Market Square, Bharat Circus was going on. So he fixed an appointment he got an appointment with the manager of the circus. The circus manager said, "Oh yes, Mr. Ray, please come whenever you want." So Mr. Ray and his friends went there, and they were given South Indian coffee, and he asked, what's the problem with you? How can I help you? Then Ray said, "See, this is the situation. I am shooting a film, Goopy Gaine Bhaga Baine." So in that film there is a scene like this, two persons and a tiger, and the tiger comes out of a bamboo forest, but the tiger and these people, they freeze, means they get they're terribly afraid, and they were shivering, but the tiger did not take any notice of these two people. The tiger just walked away calmly and quietly. This is the scene. He said, "Okay, I have got my ringmaster, I will call him." So the ringmaster was called. The name of the ringmaster was Mr. Thorat. Mr. Thorat said, "It's okay, we will manage." And he showed him the scar also. He said, "See that, looking at the tiger, training the tiger and asking them to obey commands, etc. It's not that easy," he said. "It is not that easy. You can see marks here and there, scars here," he said. "Here, my forearm we can see," he said. Anyway, he was very happy. Satyajit Ray was very happy. Mr. Thorat was very happy. The manager of Bharat Circus was very happy. And they had a good South Indian coffee, very friendly conversation. Everything was fixed and they went back. So today it's all about that. Bharat Circus, Mr. Ray meeting Bharat Circus people and arranging for and asking for a tiger, a trained tiger, and the manager of the Bharat Circus agrees, and he puts Mr. Thorat, the ringmaster, in charge of the whole situation. That's what we are going to see. Now the simplified part of it you can see. Satyajit Ray decided to shoot the scene. The scene, I told you, what is the scene? Bharat Circus was in the city. He knew trained animals were with them. He contacted the manager. They had tigers with them. He went and discussed the matter with the manager. He was a Tamilian. His ringmaster, Mr. Thorat, was also a South Indian. He was in charge of the tigers. They agreed to take the tiger to the shooting site. So that's simple now. So it's a matter of getting the tiger, getting in contact with the Bharat Circus people and getting the tiger. And that they did. Now let's And let's read the text part of it. Hope that everybody has got the text with you. All right, clear? Okay. Having thought of the scene. Having thought of the scene. Means after I have thought of the scene. Scene means here, Guppy and Bhaga, they are, when they are standing together, a tiger, a ferocious tiger comes out of a bamboo forest, but does not harm Guppy and Gail. So that is the scene. I simply had to shoot it. So Satyajit Ray was such a person. If he has made up his mind to do something, he would do it. He was determined. He had decided, no change. But some other people will think that, why should there be a tiger? The Guppy and Bhaga will come and stand there, and they will imagine that there is a tiger, and then they go away. Nothing doing. This is the rare. This is the rare, not an ordinary, or you can say rare. He keeps, or he is very meticulous with it. It's very, very careful and very firm to do things in the best possible way. That's why he is Satyajit, isn't it? So he said, I will do it. But where were we going to find a tiger? So decision has been made. But what about from where are we going to get the tiger? The obvious thing, the clear thing, something that is very clear is obvious. If I say 2 plus 2 is, what is 2 plus 2? The obvious answer is 4. Isn't it? 2 plus 2 is 4. And that 4 is the obvious answer. It's clear. The obvious thing to do was to look in a circus, since they were likely to have trained animals. Likely possibility. Circus people, they will have trained animals. That is one show actually. The part of a big show, one show is given to animals. Isn't it? You can see in the beginning of the circus there is a parade. In the parade also you will find these animals. Humans as well as animals you will find. I think that you have seen a circus, yes. Then, likely to have trained animals. There is a possibility. Likely means possibility. It is likely that tomorrow it will rain. That means it is possible that tomorrow it will rain. As a matter of fact means in fact. One called Bharat Circus was visiting Calcutta at that time, holding shows in Marcus Square. So Calcutta at that time there was a circus show was going on. The name of the circus was Bharat Circus. It was in Calcutta, and Calcutta means it's a big city, a huge city. So here in Calcutta at a place called Marcus Square. We sent someone to make an appointment with the temple manager, and then went to meet him one morning. So he's a manager of a circus. Manager of a famous circus. So you cannot just go and say, sir, I want to meet you. It's not possible. So Mr. Ray sent a person, a messenger. And the messenger went to the manager of the circus. The messenger asked him, see, my boss, Satyajit Ray, a famous director, the director who directed the film Patar Panjabi, he wants to meet you in connection with something that I do not know. Would you please give him some time? That means, will you please fix a time to meet you? He was very happy, manager, because who is coming? Satyajit Ray is coming. So I met him in the morning. He greeted us. He said, oh, come, please come. Sit here. Oh, take your seats. What do you want? How can I help you? What way can I help you? He said, warmly, very friendly. A warm relationship, no? It's friendly relationship. And ordered South Indian coffee for us. So North Indian coffee and South Indian coffee both are different. The South Indian coffee is, because if you go to North India, most people there, they take tea. Very rarely they take coffee. But in South it's not like that. South we take coffee very often. Rarely we take tea. But not, these days I don't know. A few years back it was like that because I was in North India for some time. That is why I am from first hand experience I am telling you this. Okay. So he greeted us. The manager had our reason for the visit. What is the reason for the visit? I would like to get a trained tiger for shooting a film. That is the reason. And then send for one Mr. Thorat. Send for means he asked one of his boys, you go and call Mr. Thorat, bring him here, ask him to meet me immediately. So Mr. Thorat comes. He turned out to be the ringmaster. He turned out to be means he was the ringmaster. In this case, he was the ringmaster. I thought that he was a simple man or somebody, some person who is assisting this manager and so on. But he was the ringmaster. Ringmaster is in charge of animals. Mr. Thorat. He turned out to be the ringmaster. He too was a South Indian. Very well built, like King Kong, with features somewhat like those of a Nepali. What is the features of Nepali? In Nepal, it is said that they all practice, from their younger days, martial arts. They practice martial arts, especially Kung Fu, Karate and so on. So you can see them now. And so they have got good muscles and so on. So that is built like a Nepali, he said. Because it is in their tradition, they learn martial arts right from their younger days. So the manager had all this accent turned out to be, he too was a South Indian and Nepali. He was perhaps not more than 40. He was only 40, very young comparatively, very young. He showed us an old scar on his forearm. Forearm is the place from his elbow to the wrist. This area is called forearm. So he said, look, there is a scar here. I was attacked by one of my tigers when I was giving training. So now it's, of course, the wound is healed, but still you can see the mark, and the mark is the scar. He said, look at the scar, but I am not afraid, he said, which had been caused by a tiger. So the tiger man, who is the tiger man? The tiger man is Mr. Thorat. Who is the manager of the circus? We don't know his name. So we know only that manager is South Indian. Mr. Thorat is South Indian, manager is South Indian, and then who? Where is the circus going on? Marcus Square in Calcutta. What did Mr. Ray want? He wanted to shoot a scene. What was the scene? Guppy and Bhaga standing together. Then they see in the forest, then they see a tiger and they freeze, but the tiger did not bother about them. He walked away. So what was his plan? His plan was to meet the manager of the circus. What was the name of the circus? Bharat Circus. And then what happened? He took an appointment. What do you mean by an appointment? Appointment means, of course, you get an appointment in a school as a teacher. That is a different thing. There you get a job, But here appointment means you get a time to meet a person, appointment. All the busy persons are like that. VIPs. If you want to see a VIP, you have to get an appointment. I told you already now, in our place, in our school, in our college or school, the principal is a VIP. You cannot just get in and say, sir, I want to do this, and you cannot do it. You have to get an appointment. You send so-and-so is waiting outside, would like to meet. Then you send a chit inside. And the principal will read and, he is a very talkative person. So you ask him to wait for some time outside. So like that, there's an appointment made. So everything was done, and so the matter was closed. Now what has to be done by Satyajit Ray and his men? They have to make the scene ready, and Mr. Thorat has promised to take the tiger to the place where the scene has to be shot. It's very simple, not today. It's like a story now. He wanted a tiger, so he went to a circus company. He met a circus manager of the circus company. Manager of the circus company welcomed them. The circus was in Calcutta, Marcus Square. His ringmaster was Mr. Thorat. He called his Thorat, and the matter was discussed. They agreed, and so they went back happily after taking South Indian coffee.